Attorney John, no? With the way the hearing ended today, the big controversy over words like scam and yesterday modus and mastermind, no? Why do you think the prosecution is trying to integrate this language into their presentation, and why is the defense objecting?
Well, pag trial na ganito, usually nga kasi, di ba, parang ang requirement is patunayan mo, you prove every single fact that you want, that you are obligated to prove. Kumbaga, if it's an element in an offense, i-prove mo yan. So minsan naman kasi, considering na may public face itong trial na to, we can expect those in the prosecution to actually, in a way, make their burden easier by resorting to words that are more commonly and easily connected to by the public.
Okay.
So I think the presiding officer also noted that I know that you are also appealing to that dimension of the trial, right? So I've said this several times already. You cannot avoid that because once you place an impeachment not in front of trained judges and in front of senators, then definitely there's gonna be some theater involved. So this is the theater aspect. Okay. Now, of course, the defense, they're doing their job. They're actually alluding to certain regulations in the rules of court that says that, hey, you cannot resort to colorful language or conclusions when you're asking witness because you're supposed to elicit these facts, right? So I think that's part of the game, or if you will, in litigation. So each side will try to push the envelope. And then, of course, it's the other side's job to actually push it back.
I do remember we were together on the first day of trial, July 6, and you said that, in fact, there is an element here where we have to consider that the people are also involved.
Yes.
Right? Is this resort to this kind of colorful language an attempt on the part of the prosecution to attract the people's interest and hold their attention?
I think so. Because, it's 2 o'clock, it's the afternoon, we're talking about ledgers, accounting terms, acknowledgement receipts and entries, di ba? Talagang makakatulog ka niyan. And since this is also in front of the citizenry, you have to be able to navigate it and then invite their attention. So I think Attorney Ligutan yesterday, for example, he used those words, modus operandi,
yes,
with a purpose. Okay, but to be fair, on a technical note, I don't also understand the objection to that because it's Latin, mode of operation. So if you're gonna object it on a technical level, well, it's just Latin for mode of operation. I distinctly remember that both sides, not just the prosecution, defense, seem to use a lot of Latin words all the time. So why do you fixate on this particular set of Latin words?
I think the presiding officer, Cis Escudero, did mention that at least in Philippine English, modus has as he said, a secondary meaning. Modus meaning it's a way of conning someone, right?
Yes.
It's an exploitation of a victim. Parang ganun.
I would agree. But then again, there is no per se objectionable use of the Latin phrase modus operandi because it is also used even in court and even in complaints or in answers. Ginagamit naman kasi talaga yan because yung translation niya is mode of operation.
Are we going to see more of these skirmishes about language, about color, even though today parang seryoso na talaga yung presiding officer? Ang nangyari kasi, the first one to use the term scam was Attorney Lorna Capunan.
Okay.
She was admonished, but it wasn't stricken off the record. Yesterday, Ligutan used the same term, admonished and stricken off the record. Ngayon, there's a third attempt, tapos parang medyo ano na. Do you think, just very quickly, do you think that we will see more of this despite the ruling from the presiding officer?
Yeah, I think both sides will continue to do it because that's part of their strategy or their job, and maybe I can talk to more about that later on. But I also feel that the presiding officer wants to assert more control over these proceedings. So yes, we will see more of that.